Let us now talk about some examples. So the first example is we take S1 to S1 and basically say Qn is a projection map. You take a complex number z to the power of n. Now let us see this in a diagram. So say you have S1 in the complex plane. So on the y-axis you have the complex numbers and you have polar representation. So the radius of the circle is 1. Obviously this is S1. So this 1 theta point gets mapped to 1 n theta. So let us mark this. So this is n theta. So this point is 1 theta and this Qn will get it mapped to 1 comma n theta. So the map is from S1 to S1. You take the complex number z and you raise it power n times. Now we have to check the inverse image also so that it has a homeomorphism. So we will take n as 3 and essentially you will get 3 roots of unity. So you have this right here and the inverse image will be 3 open intervals, and these 3 open intervals are containing the inverse root of 1 because we are starting with 1 comma 0 on the right hand side, and the inverse image Qn inverse of u is 3 roots of 1 because we took an open interval around 1. So second is the standard trivial example. If you take the identity map from x to x, that itself will be a covering space. Another example is of the projective plane, and you obtain projective plane by identifying antipodal points of a sphere. So you identify antipodal points, you get a projective plane. So this is also a covering projection. So say you take a small neighborhood around some point W. So its inverse image is 2 small neighborhoods on the sphere. So one neighborhood I'm drawing in green. So the point X here, this will get mapped to W, and then we have an antipodal neighborhood around point minus X, and this minus X will also get mapped to W. So now we have an example of from plane to the torus. So from R2 to S1 times S1. So we have already seen the map for S1. We are just going to generalize this. So you're taking points x, y and you map it to exponential of 2 pi I x comma exponential of 2 pi I y. Now again we have to talk about the inverse image because we are always talking about a homeomorphism. So the inverse image of this torus would be infinitely many rectangles, yeah, but all these will be countable. So in the covering projection you always have a P inverse of u, where P is the projection. So we always have to talk about it. So you have countably many infinite rectangles. So now another example. So say you have an infinite spiral. So this spiral is projecting down onto a circle. So basically you just take a point on the spiral and just map it down onto the circle. So this is a covering projection. Just take this point and map it down here. So project down to the circle. Now we want to talk about non-examples, and non-examples are important because they help us think, what might not be a covering space. So the first non-example we are going to do is a finite spiral. So the spiral starts at some point and it ends at certain point. and then you project everything to the circle beneath it. Now this is not a covering space because the endpoints create a problem. So endpoints do not form something called admissible neighborhood. So endpoints do not have admissible neighborhood. That is simply because, say, this endpoint is getting projected here. So I'm just going to mark it in orange. So this gets projected right here. But if you take its inverse image, the inverse image of this rust colored interval on the circle, so inverse image of the rust color interval on the circle, this is not homeomorphic to anything in the covering space above. So inverse image is not a homeomorphism. Another example, say you take a big rectangle and you project it on the line. So then you take an open interval u on the line, which I've just marked. So corresponding to it, you have P inverse of u. So this is P inverse of u, this entire green rectangle. Now again, this is not a covering projection because we do not have a homeomorphism from this open set u to P inverse u.